Hello, everybody. You're all very welcome to the show, and I hope you enjoy what happens here over the next hour or so. To find out who our first guest is, let me hand you over to our MC for the evening, the beautiful Fred Cook.
Thank you, Tommy. Well, our guest is Paul Giamatti.
Really?
What the actual hell?
Hello. Hey, how are you?
Wow.
Wow, it's nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, fella.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
You're one of...
That was a nice reaction. Most people don't react like that. That's really nice.
I do that for all the guests. You're,
fantastic.
what are you up to?
I'm here to do this with you. I'm here in Ireland. That's nice.
Yeah. Are you doing some filming work over here?
No, I came over here to do this.
Come on now.
I did. I came over here to do this. Yeah, and then to just hang out in Ireland for a little bit. But no, I'm not filming anything right now, no.
What was the last thing that you filmed?
I just finished a job in Canada. There's a new Star Trek television show that's going to be on. So I did a Star Trek show.
For the money?
No, for the love of it. Are you a Star Trek fan?
No.
Really, not at all. None of that kind of stuff. You a science fiction guy?
I do like sci-fi. I like kind of not sci-fi where there's a moral implication. But you know, like, do you remember Prometheus?
Yeah.
Was Michael Fassbender in Prometheus or something?
Yes, I think that's right.
Or even Planet of the Apes or something, but where there's a kind of where there's the element of the fable in it. An instructive fable.
Yeah, I like that too. And I think the good stuff like that is like that. You think Star Trek is too moralizing? Too heavy-handed?
No, I just could never get my teeth into it. Like, I never bought into the concept.
Yeah.
I'm sure as a child.
That's when it started.
So do you remember the television programs we would have watched as children?
Yeah.
That was one of them?
Yeah.
And do you remember Alias Smith and Jones?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 57.
All right, okay.
How old are you?
We're same vintage, yeah, 55.
I love stuff like that, though. You know?
What else do you remember? Do you remember Clint Eastwood made those movies with the big monkey?
With Clyde the orangutan. Every which way but loose, any which way you can. I loved those.
And it's all...
You know what? They should bring back movies where you act with a primate like that, where you have a chimpanzee or something. I'd love to do something like that.
And Clyde was always just boxing people.
Yeah, it was a right turn, Clyde, and Clyde would punch somebody. So stupid. It's kind of amazing to think that that was entertaining to people.
I mean, we went to the cinema to watch it. It was a night out.
It was huge. It was a big hit. It was like, I mean, people loved it. Think about that. It doesn't happen anymore like that.
Wow.
Innocent times, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
You know?
The last thing I would have seen you in, I think, you're one of those actors that you can, I don't know if you feel a responsibility with this, but that people know if you're in it that there is, that even if the film itself doesn't work, there'll be a performance worth watching. Do you know what I mean with that?
Yeah, I suppose so.
So maybe Meryl Streep is a bit like that as well.
Yeah.
And there's a few people that you trust their choices as well.
Yeah.
Do you carry that, or do you just go instinctually?
Yeah, no, I think I just go instinctually. I mean, I feel like I don't know that I think that that's true, that I can elevate something or...
No, I didn't say that.
No, you didn't say that. Actually, you didn't say that. You just said that maybe my performance is good. You're right. You didn't say I elevated the material. But I don't really think that way. I don't think so, no. I just kind of, if something strikes me as seeming like an interesting story.
So apart from the money, then, what was the attraction of Star Trek?
Well, because I think it took root in my mind.
Digging now. You're digging.
No. I'm gonna get. I took root in my mind when I was a kid, so it has that real, like, powerful thing, and I really kind of love it. I think it's great. I really like it, and I always have, and I've watched almost every iteration of it.
That's
not completely. It is a lot, but I enjoy the kind of silliness of it, and you know. And I'm an alien in this. I have a rubber head, and I'm an alien being. So I have all of that stuff on, and that was really exciting to me. I love doing that kind of thing. You know, I did a Planet of the Apes movie too, about 20 years ago.
Which one?
It was one that was
Return of the End of the Beginning of the Apes.
No, yeah, exactly. It was It was just, I think it was just called Planet of the Apes, and it was a remake that Tim Burton directed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a great movie, but it was a lot of fun to do. And I was head to toe in that, like completely, hands, feet, my whole body, a fat suit.
Were you
stuff
a
like
monkey?
I was an orangutan. I was like Clyde.
No way.
I was like Clyde. Yeah, and it was really exciting. And you don't know what the hell you're gonna do. And in that, even I had to wear these enormous teeth, fangs, and it changed the way my mouth moved. And it was all this stuff was happening, and I thought I had no idea what I was gonna be like when I had to play a talking orangutan, and suddenly you're doing something else.
How much like prep would you put into something like that in terms of movement anyway?
We did actually
Really?
a surprising amount of prep for that, which I didn't expect to do, but I like doing that. You don't do that a lot in film, you know? It's all, everything's up in here, so it doesn't matter what your body's doing.
What do you think your gift is?
As an actor?
Yeah.
That's a really interesting question. If I have a particular gift as an actor? I find I play flawed people a lot. Very flawed people. I mean, that's what's interesting. So you want to play flawed people, I suppose. Whereas my immediate instinct, if I'm given a heroic person, is to find out what's not heroic about them. You know? So I guess that's a gift that I think I have the ability to find the vulnerabilities and weaknesses in whatever character I have to play and bring them out. Yeah.
So does that then translate to a knowingness in performance, or are you just dressing your own vulnerabilities in the weaknesses of fictional characters? Does that make sense? So if someone says, "Oh, Paul Giamatti's in this," there's a likelihood that the guy is going to be under pressure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's
yes.
He's going to be moving a good bit, and no one's going to understand. And do you know what I mean?
Yes, and I think oftentimes those people, there's internal pressure. It's not even necessarily pressure from without sometimes. It's people who are putting internal pressure on themselves too.
Yeah.
People at war with themselves too.
But that sounds like too much effort to play, that it must be just part,
part of me, you think?
Well, it just sounds like a stressful thing to put your body through in terms of performance.
It is stressful.
Really?
Yeah. That's interesting, though. I mean, yeah, it is stressful. I think I stopped acting on stage after a while because it was too stressful. It got to be physically bad for me. It was too much. I mean, again, I don't want to sound, I'm not romanticizing it or something, but it got to be too hard to do stuff on stage like that night after night after night. And so I kind of backed off acting on stage.
What kind of parts can you remember playing on stage?
That were like that?
Yeah.
I did a Eugene O'Neill play called The Iceman Cometh.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
17 hours of...
17 hours of misery. Just misery.
Which character were you in?
It's interesting. I was a character called Jimmy Tomorrow, who doesn't even talk very much in it.
Just vibrates in the background.
Yes, he kind of does. He's kind of falling apart in the background the whole time. He sort of talks in the beginning, and they all sort of refer to him a lot as the most far gone of all of them. Yeah. They all look at him and go, "Oh, well, at least we're not him." And he sort of sits there, and then in the end, he has this kind of freak out. He stands up and loses his shit in front of all these guys. And so it was sort of 4.5 hours every night of waiting to freak out. Yeah. And it was just like, and building up to freaking out every night. And it was the kind of thing where I had to stand up, and you can't fuck around and fake it or something. Yeah. So it was like, it was unbelievably stressful doing that for I don't know how many months we did it.
I was talking to an actress one time, and we were doing a short little film together, and she's a very brilliant performer, this lady, and I was saying to her, we were driving back to the hotel, and I was saying, when does this become enjoyable? And she said to me, it's never enjoyable. Do you have that same thing of where it's actually, not that it's traumatic, but you're volunteering for turbulence, maybe, or something?
No, I think that's absolutely true. Yeah, I think it is a little bit that sense of, and also when does it get easier too? Does it ever get any easier? It's like, I thought with experience and skill, it would get easier too. And the two things don't seem to, no. When does it get,
So why do you keep doing
I
it?
don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I really question, why am I still doing this? It's compulsive. It becomes a kind of compulsion. And
Of punishment?
it feels like there's something masochistic about it. Sometimes it really does, which is interesting, you know. And then on top of it, the characters I play are sort of masochistic feeling, you know. It's like I have double the fun of masochism on me, you know. The thing itself is self-torturing, and then I play these guys who do it too. I don't know. I don't even know why I do it in the first place necessarily. Do you? I mean, do you know the source of it, the wellspring of it? Like, why do you do it anyway at all? You know.
So, I don't know if this is any way relevant, but I was reading a Christian philosopher this morning to get ready.
That makes perfect sense. What Christian philosopher were you reading?
A lady called Cynthia Bourgeau or something is her name.
Okay.
And her thing was that she was talking about the universe and everything. And she was saying that love needs an object in order to express itself. And if love doesn't have an object, then it just is yearning all the time. But the object, because it is not love, will offer resistance. And the struggle between the love and the object produces this third thing, which is, I guess, meaning. So I'm wondering, is that a way of thinking about... So there's the desire...
Well, that's interesting. Because I've certainly thought of it all the time as it's a kind of... It's like a love relationship, it's felt like. And you have the same kind of emotional ups and downs and turmoil. So there are periods of time when you think, this is going great, this is wonderful, and then it's not, suddenly. And then you're fighting with it and you hate it and you want to get away from it, but you can't stay away from it. That makes a lot of sense, actually, yeah.
So with the acting, that even though it
resists.
It resists and it's difficult.
It resists.
You're struggling for...
Meaning, and it's giving you meaning.
Or something.
Something. Something.
But
it's interesting, yeah.
Where do you live?
I live in Brooklyn. Yeah, in
How come?
Brooklyn Heights. Well, I've lived in Manhattan. I lived in New York City for a long time, and then moved over to Brooklyn when my son was very little to get out of Manhattan. They go to what was, Brooklyn, which is the quiet, bucolic part of the city at that time.
What does bucolic mean? Is that ill?
Like like peaceful, peaceful, and that kind of thing. I think that's what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like something's wrong with you. Yeah.
Or an Eastern European vegetable.
Totally. Yeah. Enjoy your bucolics. Boiled meat and bucolics. Totally. In a white sauce.
This is good.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, so that's where I live.
Are you good with yourself?
How do you mean?
Do you know how to look after... I mean... Do you care for yourself?
I think I've gotten a little bit better at it. I don't think I was very good at it, no, for a long time. I think I've gotten better at it. I hope I've gotten better at it. Yeah, better. But still, I wish I'd taken better care of myself when I was younger. I wish I'd, looked after myself more when I was younger. So there's that.
Are you attracted to regret and to... I mean, not shame,
No, I know
but...
No, I know what you're saying. I suppose I feel, I feel some regret about how I lived my life in some ways. Yeah, I suppose I carry some of the regret of that. That's a tricky, it's funny, there's a lot of sort of, I physically beat up on myself. My body carries a lot of what I did to myself. Not taking care of myself literally, physically, too. Abusing myself physically. I have a lot of that. I wore myself out in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, you know? And
Did you pour stuff into it that
Yeah.
was of no
not any real use in the end.
lasting benefit?
Not really, no. And so there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I still do feel some of that, yeah, you know. And I'm gotten a bit better about physically taking care of myself more.
If we were
If
to,
that makes sense.
yeah.
If-
But if we were to characterize the splurges in a positive way,
Mm-hmm.
like, like, would we be able to say, no, I went on an adventure and it was chaotic?
Yeah, and I think, yes, and I think I can look back at it a little bit more so now and go, yeah, I mean, regret. I don't know that I think in the moment and there's guilt and regret and shame, and I don't know that I feel so much of that now looking back at it. Yeah, I know. I did stuff that, it's what I needed to do at the time. It's what I had to do. It's what I felt I needed to do. It was helping me in some way. So,
And
yeah.
we were all casualties of it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I suppose so.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to avoid.
To survive is the gift.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. Trying to survive.
What are the good things in your life?
Oh, so many good things. I have a lovely, lovely girlfriend. I've had a girlfriend for 7 years. It's amazing and lovely.
Yeah,
That's
you're too
wonderful.
old to say girlfriend. You can't say that.
I know. Isn't that interesting? But it's the right word. It's the right word. What should I say? What's a better word? Too old. And when does that end? At 17?
Yeah.
Then after that?
My girlfriend.
My girlfriend. But I don't know any other word.
Yeah.
She's great. I have a lovely kid.
Yeah.
24, gonna be
Well done.
24 soon. Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, it's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm here.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
What draws you to the acting?
it's a good question. I think more and more so it's if I like stories a lot. I like a good story, you know. So if I get a good something that comes to me and I keep reading it and the story draws me in, that's great. I'll go, oh, I want to be a part of that world. I'd like to be a part of that
Yeah.
story. And I think, yeah, I mean, I think that there is something that's exciting. It's that there is some excitement about, oh, I'm going to be in this story and I'll play the crazy alien with a rubber head and stuff like that. And then I think there's also a thing of like, I'm going to, maybe this time I'm going to get it right. You know, that's a big thing, that maybe this time I will finally get it right.
But how do you measure that?
I don't know. That's a good question. And it's like, you know, I don't know what that means really either. I just know if I look at something, I can feel like that was more right. I don't know exactly how I measure it, but it's a feeling I can get if I watch something. I think, that was too much, that was too little, that was too whatever, I don't know. But there's some sort of sweet spot that maybe every now and then I hit.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily know what it is, but something, you know, I'll get it more right than last time, hopefully.
Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard to.
Do you feel that when you do stand-up, it changes over the years and you feel like I'm refining it now and getting it more right, or hitting something that feels more like what I really, now I got it, now this is really, or did you always feel?
No, I felt when I started that it was pure instinct, and I don't know if you had this when you were acting. What's happened to me now is that I have this memory of what I was able to do in my 20s,
Yeah.
and I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I am trying to convince myself that I have, that my style has evolved rather than I'm not as good.
I know exactly what you mean. I've refined it now. Now I'm getting, now it's getting somewhere, but it's really just,
Weaker.
I'm getting old. I'm old. I wonder, I think I sometimes feel the same way. I'm like, oh, look at that economy of what I'm doing. It's like, no, you're just
tired.
You're tired. You're tired and you're old. Yeah, that's funny. I know what you mean. Yeah. Do you have that? I mean, it's shocking sometimes. I was just saying to my girlfriend, the other day, I was in the bathroom and you look in the mirror and I just had this moment of being like, who is that weird old man in the mirror?
Yeah.
It's bizarre. It's truly bizarre. I worked a lot. I mean, I just liked to work a lot. Probably some fear that I wouldn't work, so I worked a lot. Now I'm sort of taking it easy and I'm doing Star Trek and things like that. And And I think I have a movie coming up actually in a few months. I have some time off,
Yeah.
which is something I'm looking forward to. I'd like to do other things. I like to draw and paint and stuff like that. I'd like to try to write something. I don't know. I'd like to do other things.
And financially, would you be able to take that time off?
Yeah, I mean, I did this TV show for 7 years.
Billions?
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and yeah, so I can. I'm lucky to be able to do it. So yeah, the future feels pretty nice. It feels like unthreatening right now. Yeah.
And the feeling about the future is really only a comment on the present, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Because
That now I feel secure enough that I'm not worried about the future. I worry about getting old, sometimes. I think about
Which bits of it?
how much time do you really actually have? You can't know. And that's sometimes that visits me, and I wonder. So sometimes I feel a little bit of pressure to, I don't know, maybe explore other things too. People in my family die young. So it's like, I think sometimes that's in the back of my head.
What gets them?
It was cancer and heart attacks and things like that, and not caring for yourself at all. So I do that. So maybe, and I've lasted longer than a couple of them. So there is that does haunt me sometimes. I'd like to get to a place where that becomes a pleasant spur to doing things rather than a fear.
Dread, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd like to feel that it's like, oh, but that's a good thing in some way to not know and just let go and just see what happens. And I a lot of the time I'm able to do that, but
I was going through the diary on my iPhone recently, and so I was, trying to, will I do another tour and when will I do it? And the other way it gives you the option week, month, year.
Yeah.
So I went to the year one.
Yeah.
And I just started flicking,
Right.
and it was 2027, 2028, 29. And I saw all these days.
Yeah.
Like hundreds and hundreds of days.
Yeah.
I thought, that's wonderful.
It's a lot of time.
I'll have all these days. Because I'd have the same feelings about you about when will this end and
Yeah.
but to
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
we will have day after day. Now it doesn't feel like that in the moment.
No.
It just feels like, oh, but
Yeah. No, it's a lovely way to look at it.
we have
All
days.
those days. I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
it's been lovely.
Yeah, it's been really nice. Thanks a lot.
Paul,
Real
thank you
pleasure, man. Real pleasure to meet you.
so much.
Yeah, I'm a big admirer of yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.